Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first Tarot Thursday session of 2026. For those who are new to our Tarot Thursday live streams, we are joined by one of our psychic experts, Psychic Marin here, who hosts our regular Tarot Thursday live streams where we go into the art of Tarot, learning more about the Tarot deck, certain cards that come up, certain spreads, which we'll be exploring actually today, and so many other different elements of psychic abilities as well. We love to keep this as an interactive live stream. So any questions that you have over the content that you see today, or just any questions in general that you kind of have delving into psychic abilities, we love to see these questions today. And later, after our little mini lesson today with Psychic Marin here, we are going to be having some time to do some general card pulls as well from, one of our fan favorites here, Psychic Marin. She is I can't say enough about her. There's so many reviews on CaliforniaPsychics.com that say how much of an amazing reader she is. And so we can't wait to share her tarot abilities today as we explore during this Tarot Thursday session. So, Marin, do you want to kick us off with what is new in the new year and this New Year's session of Tarot Thursday?
Yes, thank you so much, Carson. Thank you for joining us, everybody. So with the start of the new year, since this is our Tarot Thursday, we're focused on Tarot. I'm going to talk about a few things Tarot-wise to kick you off this new year. If you do not have a Tarot deck, I highly suggest you grab yourself one. There are so many options available online or in bookstores, but because we're going to start off this year going over Tarot lessons on Thursdays, I'd love it if you wanted to join along throughout the year, starting off with either a new deck to get you a little motivated, or if not a new deck, a new journal. And this is going to segue right into our lesson for lesson today, which is a tarot spread that we're going to be doing. I have kept this journal for, this started in 2007. So I've been keeping track of my New Year's spreads since 2007. And this is just like super quick. This is all going to make sense in just a couple minutes. But I love the fact that I actually have a dedicated journal specifically to my annual New Year's reading. So I can go back, I can reflect upon the year. And even throughout the year, just seeing at the end of each month, how did that month unfold? Was it actually true to what that card was? So we're going to discuss this in just a second. But if you want to join along with us this year as we dive into the art of tarot, I would highly suggest you get yourself a deck and a journal and join us throughout the year. And Carson's going to put up a little spread for us so we can refer to this throughout the lesson today. Ta-da! This is the Wheel of the Year. And this is kind of a common term. This is not anything that I created. This is a well-known spread in the tarot community. And if it kind of looks a little familiar, since we see these 12 little boxes, they're a little reminiscent of the 12 houses in the astrology wheel. So this layout's kind of similar. And in the center figure, we have, which is either the overall theme, or it could be what guide do you want to call in to work with you throughout the year, or what energy do you want to call in to work with you. So how we do this spread is you've got your tarot deck, you've shuffled it all up, and what's a little bit different about this spread than all the other spreads that you typically do with the tarot reading, like a Celtic cross spread or a 3-card spread, normally you would have your deck and you would pull one card, then another card, then another card. Well, with the New Year spread, we've got to make sure that we are drawing from a full deck every time. So that's the one key difference. We're going to shuffle our cards really well. And I'm going to start off with that very top card, that placement that we see kind of at the 12 o'clock, if this were a clock. And I'm going to choose a card for January. What is the energy? What is going to be blessing me, or what messages, what warnings, what do I need to know for the month of January? And I draw that card. I got the Magician. So we're going to place that card. I'm going to place that card down for a second. I'm going to make a note on my journal that number 1 for the month of January, I drew the Magician. Then I'm going to return this card back to my stack. Why? Because I might have that same magician energy in February or in December. So I want to make sure that I'm getting almost like a mini one card read for each month. So now I'm moving on to February, and February's energy is the wheel. And so you get the idea. We're going to go through every single month. And then at the conclusion, we have that central figure right there, that overall theme, or what energy do I want to call in to work with? What is going to guide me throughout the year? And that final card is going to be my center figure. This is the Knight of Pentacles. So I might even want to take this card. We've talked about setting your phone screensaver before, or perhaps putting this on your nightstand, or if you have a working altar, if this is an energy that you want to call upon or even create a manifestation or a ritual with, because this is going to be the overall theme or energy that you are working with that's guiding you throughout the year. What's really amazing about this is as your year progresses, I wouldn't be surprised if you completely forget about this. You completely lose track that you even did this. And that's what the beauty of this spread really is because by March, if I've had this phenomenal month financially, and all of a sudden I remember, wait a second, I think I had that 10 of Pentacles in the month of March. And I go back to my journal, and sure enough, there it was. It was a month having to do with financial blessings or something that really created that goal that I was working towards. So this isn't really something where we've got to know what we're wanting, know quite yet what June is going to bring us. This is just to preserve that information and how awesome and accurate it is to look back and be able to see, wow. And then imagine year after year after year of having a journal referencing all of this. It's so accurate. It's mind-boggling. And I just would love for you to participate in that. We might even have an opportunity to reflect and share later in the year if you kind of want a mid-year check-in with this, and just a question or answer session of how accurate was your Wheel of the Year New Year reading. So that is our lesson for today, folks. If you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer, but just fun, simple, no real formalities. Just grab yourself a little napkin if you have to, but write down that information because you're going to love it when you can reflect on it throughout the year.
Yes, Marin, I think that was a wonderful little kind of intro showcase. I don't know if you see it on the screen, but actually in the background, I pulled what the cards that you pulled for each of the months. So if you wanted to, we could fill out the entire spread and just kind of label each of the cards that have just kind of been pulled during this live stream, just so they can kind of see how it's done quick too.
Okay, well, I will do this. The one thing that I did not take as much into consideration for the purpose of this lesson is I really wasn't in that much of a meditative, grounded state. Since this was just a really quick lesson, if we were doing this for the real deal, I would first start off with creating more of that sacred space. So I would get myself, by setting the intentions, by setting that focus, I would either light a candle, I would start off with a couple minutes of breath work to really ground myself. And if you see me doing these hand interactions, that's just my way of pulling energy above. And so I have a method for when I choose cards, I like to pull that energy down to receive. And so that is how I'm connected. So when you're seeing that, that's me actually really working rather than just demoing for the purpose of this lesson. So those first couple of cards weren't as purposefully, intentionally chosen. So we're going to make sure we really choose some purposely and chosen intention for the next couple months. So we've got January, February, March. We're going to look at April. We're going to look at the collective energy for April. And we have a reversal. So this is the Empress reversed. I do read reversals. So this would mean a diminished energy of that sense of motherhood, that sense of that divine feminine role. Maybe she's dealing with some body dysmorphia. Maybe she's dealing with some physical issues, could be some health issues, but she's just not feeling right in her body. Sometimes the Empress does indicate fertility and pregnancy matters, which we have to steer clear of in our readings at California Psychics. But as a tarot reader at home, in the comfort of your home, if this card came up for you, this is often shown as a pregnant woman in a lot of decks. And so this card is tied to fertility, FYI. But we chose her in a reverse position. So this could be if you're kicking off the new year and you're really looking into health matters or fertility matters, this would be an indicator that maybe you want to look at that a little deeper. We're returning this card to the deck. I'm going to do a quick shuffle, and then I'm going to fan out the cards again so I have a clean read every time. And now we're going to be choosing the card for May, the month of May. We have we're getting a couple reversals here, folks, but that's okay. We've got a very similar energy with the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Notice how similar this was. This is a great lesson, Carson. So I'm glad that you invited us to continue with this, because notice how similar this was to the card that we just drew. Unfortunately, I've already returned that Empress to the deck, but you can see the very similar energy of this card. We've got the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So you might have a situation where we have a continuation of this energy because these cards are so similar. This would already be cueing me off that I'm going to have some issues dealing with the month of April and May, where I may be struggling a little bit with my sense of feminine self or body issues or health matters. So this looks like it's a theme that's going in for just a couple months. So take note of any similarities like that, or anytime you get these reversals month to month, back to back like that, that could be an indicator of a little bit of struggle that you're working on that's persisting and not something that you just blow through that first month. We're going to return this card to the stack. We're going to shuffle again, and we're going to go on to the month of June. And as I'm drawing, I'm not, if any of you are watching going, well, gosh, she's really not shuffling these cards very well. You're right. I'm not. But what I'm doing is I'm mildly shuffling just so I'm mixing up the placement of that last card. But what I'm really doing is I'm emphasizing what I'm feeling and where I'm led. It almost feels more like a magnet when I'm choosing the card that I'm drawn to. So whether I really shuffled or whether I just slightly mix them up, the magic is really in the pull and where my finger or my hand is kind of gravitating. So you're right. If you guys have those eagle eyes and you're questioning, wait, she's not mixing the card up. This is the more important part. So this is where I'm pulling the magic in. We've got the Hangman for the month of June. Notice we had those two reversals in a row. So April and May were reversals, which were stuck energy. And the Hangman is kind of a tricky card because many people that are unfamiliar with the tarot, if they draw this card, it looks like he's reversed. However, he's not in this position right here. This is upright. But this does show us the Hangman is a sense of stuck energy. So we've got April, May reversals, and the Hangman. So we've got some stuck months. Something's going on in those few months, but hopefully let's move on to July and let's see if we can shake this energy up. This is good to know. This is why we do these New Year reads, folks, because we can prepare for these types of situations ahead that we're taking note of right here. So again, we're moving on, and we are now in the month of July. So let's see if we can get out of this. And we are leaning on our sisterhood to get out of this situation. We've got 3 women celebrating, toasting. This is a sense of community. This is a sense of in an upright position. You're going out, you're celebrating, you're being social. Well, July tells us you need to get out and get social. How do you start feeling better about yourself? How do you get that support system from your women? Maybe you join a women's group. Maybe you've been struggling with your sense of feminine. Maybe you're hitting menopause and you just need a women's circle. But this is the solution. We're looking at the month of July where they're saying women sisterhood gathering, you're not doing enough of that. So perhaps that's going to help you get out of this cycle. So we're going to move on to August. This is almost kind of like an adventure novel. Like, come on, what's going to happen? When can we get out of this funk? Okay, here we go. Let's see what we've got here. All right, things are getting better. This is the Six of Pentacles. This is give and take. This is energy coming in and energy going out. The Pentacles, the element of earth, often are associated with wealth or money, and that's why we see these coins here. And so this person is in a fortunate position that they can give to those less fortunate. So we are finally starting to feel the energy of breaking this cycle by the time we are in August. We've got this ebb and flow, money coming in, money going out, or energy coming in, energy coming out. So we're shaking things up. We're in the flow again. This is a great card because what it doesn't show, if we bump up a couple cards prior to this, if you're familiar with the tarot, is the Four of Pentacles. And that Four of Pentacles is a very gripping, very tense energy. Now we've loosened up and now we're flowing. And so you can see that our wheel of the new year is starting to really flow. So this August card is breaking things up. So let's see what September brings us. Just a quick little shuffle while I reground. As I'm shuffling, and anytime you go to a face-to-face reading or when you see somebody shuffling, that is our opportunity to really ground, feel the shift in energy from when I was just in my sense of self and shuffling compared to when I'm now connecting with the person in front of me. So shuffling isn't just for the purpose of mixing up the cards. The shuffling is also where I'm grounding and where I'm taking some breaths and I'm purging that energy from the prior month out so I get a clean read for the next month. I'm doing this quick for the sense of the lesson, but if you need 2 or 3 minutes between each month to really focus, then you take that time. Okay, and here we go with the month of September. We've got a reversal again, folks. This is not shaping up to be the easiest of years, but a year of growth. This is the Two of Pentacles. This is a juggling year. And so often twos are decisions, or I'm stuck in the middle of needing to make this decision. He was in a reverse position, so he might be really, really struggling with this decision or just on the precipice of finally being able to break through this decision that he's been contemplating for a while. This again is Pentacles, so that is the suit of earth, and this is having to do with finances, wealth, tangible things, earthly things. So again, that's the Two of Pentacles for the month of September. Carson? All right. We will get to your questions very soon, folks. We're almost done. We've got the month of October, and this is the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a defensive energy. This is, I just said, yes, I said it wrong. I'm sorry. That often when I'm told no and I have to pause for a second. No, it's a Seven of Wands. Thank you. I've got my guides, got my back. Seven of Wands for this card, which is a very defensive energy. And this energy is more of a protector. He's pushing away all of these people. If you imagine down below where all of these little stabs, they're like people jabbing at him. We just can't see the people down below holding these stabs that are poking at him and poking at him. And he's saying, back off. I need some personal space. So the month of October is going to be a month of personal space for this person. And moving on to November. Okay, November is back into this reversal. We have the Seven of Cups. This is a great card, though, to be in a reversal because in an upright position, it means fogginess, indecisiveness, your head's in the clouds, 7 deadly sins. Fortunately, this actually is in a better position being reversed because we're breaking free of that fog. We're diminishing this cloudy situation. So the Seven of Cups in a reverse position is saying that we're really trying to find the true holy grail. We're really trying to find that focus instead of getting distracted by so many magical choices floating up in the heavens of of gluttony. These are the 7 deadly sins in all of the cups. So we've got the greed and the gluttony and the true sense of spirit in the center. That is the veil that we are looking to achieve. We've got this hidden spiritual being underneath this veil. Sometimes she's seen as Mother Mary. Okay, one more card. What is the month of December going to bring us, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go. Hierophant, what a great card to end on. This is the spiritual teacher. So if the month of December doesn't end, excuse me, I said that wrong. If the year reading was not that great, if there were some ups and downs and some tumultuous energy, it's awesome to end on this really high note of the Hierophant. There's a little pun there, because this Hierophant energy is showing us that regardless of how complex or how much we grew and expanded this year through challenges, the Hierophant is really that spiritual guide that's showing us he's with us in December. He's going to stay with us throughout the continuation into the next year. But this is a great note to end on, because above all, we're really being divinely led. And so despite some of those ups and downs, the Hierophant's got our backs this year.
Wonderful. Yes, that was an excellent little exercise that we got to do today. And it was fun for us to kind of put the cards up on the screen as well and kind of switch out the photos. So that way it was a little bit more interactive as well. Now, we did have a couple of questions kind of coming in, 2 from Honeybee in regards to the lesson today. And then we will be opening up for general questions here in just a moment. Now, Honeybee's first question is Psychic Marin, when you say light a candle and do groundwork whenever you're referring to this lesson, is there a particular color candle that you like to use, or does it really not matter in this sort of scenario?
That's a great question, because it segues into something that I've done previously. I have broken my Wheel of the Year New Year's reading into different areas, meaning I've done multiple New Year's readings. I've done it before for my family, I've done it for me individually, and I've done it for my business. And so that's a great example in tying with your question about candles, because if I was doing it for my business and I'm focused more on either money or success, I would use green for money. Purple, if you think of that Crown Royale bag that's in purple, if you think of the crown, purple is often associated with royalty and regalness. And so purple is courage and confidence and success. So if I was focusing on business, I'd either do a green or a purple candle. Purple's sometimes a little trickier to find. If it was for my family, if there was a sense of maybe if I had a family member or a sense of healing that was really necessary, or maybe some difficulty in marriage or relationships, and I really want to bestow more of a healing essence to the reading, I would focus on blue. White, of course, we've talked about that many times, is more of a general all-purpose. If it was for me, myself individually, depending on the matter, health, blue, healing, blue. If it was for all-purpose, white. Anything new, adventurous, new business, or I'm really seeking new love, new romance. Yellow is new. If you think of the sun coming out and shining all of its bright rays, yellow is new. Red, love. So if you're really focusing on relationship, then you want to specifically do a Wheel of the Year read for relationship. But I would break it up into those categories. And if you wanted a one size fits all, I would stick with white, or you're more than welcome to even do like those little, the little tiny 2-inch candles, and be able to do a reading with this subject matter one day. Maybe the next day you do one for your family using a different colored candle. But ideally that you do this during the first month, obviously, because you'd like to have all of these months set out ahead of you in advance. So thank you for your question.
Sorry. And her follow-up question, Marin, is just kind of general about Tarot. If a reader doesn't use reversals, would you still kind of count the reading as accurate? She has noticed that some readers choose not to use reversals. So how can this kind of impact the reading?
Yeah. In my early years of more tarot learning and scholar work, I really I kind of would get frustrated in that mindset of those that just disregarded reversals, because I felt like, well, wait a second, there's a it's coming up in a reverse position. So why would you interrupt that flow of energy by flipping it around? So I personally had a little bit of a hang up with that until years and years and years of experience. What I've realized is that as long as you have a system and you stick with that system and you're not veering away from it. We've talked about that before in terms of shuffling. As you shuffle the cards, you're sticking with a certain system rather than today doing it this way, tomorrow doing it a different way. Stick with the system with how you shuffle, stick with the system and how you draw the cards. Either you pull them this way, which will result in this direction, or if you flip them this way, which is going to result in a different position. So keep your consistencies with how you flip cards. And then most importantly, keep consistent with asking and forming that intention before you draw the card or before you even begin your spread. You want to start with that clear mindset. So as long as you are consistent, if you do not want to read reversals, and some people choose not to, we've got 78 cards. And so in theory, by learning how to read reversals, you're doubling that in learning what the meanings are for both reversals and uprights. So if it's weighty, if it's difficult, especially as a newer reader, or if it's just easiest to keep it very clear that this means this, then you don't need to worry about reading reversals. That's my opinion anyways. And I have been mentored by the top tarot scholars in the country, and there are mixed opinions. We all have our opinions, but if you want to have accuracy in your readings, keep it consistent. And if reversals don't work for you and they add another layer of complexity, don't do them. Maybe someday you may change your mind, but for now, stick with what you are comfortable with, but stay consistent.
Fantastic. Thank you, Honeybee, for submitting that question. And we hope that that answer from Psychic Marin kind of helped to stoke your tarot knowledge and your desire to learn more. And you can always do so whenever you contact one of our gifted psychics, like our wonderful tarot scholar here, Psychic Marin, which does provide us with a bit of a segue into shouting out the best ways to reach Psychic Marin here, especially if you do want a one-on-one reading experience with her, and not just about tarot. Like we like to keep the Tarot Thursdays themed because it flows well to, Tarot Thursday. But Psychic Marin here is gifted in so many other elements beyond just tarot. So if you visit her on our website, californiapsychics.com, or the California Psychics app, and I'll make sure to pull up that link right up on the screen right now. And you can also click the link in the description of the live stream you're watching right now. You can visit her profile on californiapsychics.com, as well as the ability to hop right into her call queue or book a set appointment slot for her so that you can get in a reading with her at the top of the hour and not wait into her queue. Now, Marin, I'm sure because you have been explaining things so well today, people are dying to hear it straight from you. When is the very next time that you'll be online and available for these one-on-one psychic readings for those who are seeking a guaranteed reading from you?
Thank you, Carson. I will be on this evening, and I typically work about 25 to 30 hours a week on the line, and I break up my hours to accommodate all the different time zones. So I usually have some afternoon and evening hours either every day or every other day. So I also take appointments. Some people want that appointment slot right at the top of the hour. And if you fall into that category, call customer service because they'll book you that appointment if you've got a really short lunch break or you can't wait in the queue for an unknown period of time. Those appointments are the best option for you to get that top of the hour phone call from me.
Yes, fantastic. And once again, you can click the link in the description of the live stream that you're watching right now to pull up Psychic Marin's profile on CaliforniaPsychics.com, where you can find all that information that she just shouted out as well. And again, this is the place where you can get that link is where you can get a guaranteed reading experience. We will try our best to answer as many card pull questions as we can, but we will have to end before the top of the hour. So we apologize in advance if we do not get to everybody's question today. But we will also be hosting our free live preview of California Psychics on this upcoming Monday as well. So as we move on to our general questions, Marin, switching up the format in the look of our live stream to get ready. We have one here that I saw from Angelica, who's wanting to know if you could pull a finance/career card for her in regards to any new income streams that could appear for her this year.
Okay, just 1 second. I'm really shuffling the cards for a second because I'm shifting into reading space and I want to ground just a little bit more. Okay, Angelica. So we're looking at extra income for Angelica this year. Oh, this is the 4 of Cups, and this individual is really in a stubborn frame of mind, so much so that they're going to overlook this little opportunity. And so what this card shows me is that the opportunities are coming to you, these side incomes. I feel like this is what we call a side hustle, but this is something where you may just overlook it. I am getting that this is something that you are asked to participate in, or this is more of like a partnership or a team or collaborating with a friend. You wouldn't have gotten that from this card. That's information being given to me just as a little favor for you. But this is something where you're going to be approached with an opportunity. And if you're stubborn or your head's just not in the right place, this is an overlooked financial opportunity. Timing wise, this looks like it is closer to late March. I don't go into April. So late March is when I'm shown this. So keep your eyes peeled for this because it looks like an answer to that extra financial income that you're looking for.
Perfect. Thank you, Angelica, for attending our live stream today and submitting that card pull question. And we do hope that that answer from Psychic Marin resonated with you as well. Now, moving on to our next card pull question, we have one here from Ava requesting a love-related card for her and Nate. She still has not heard from Nate yet. Do you still see communication arising with him in January?
Let me see him. The good news is I still see his energy attached. I still see the thought, and I don't get any sort of communication until, hold on, 1, 2, 1, 2. To answer your question, yes, I see communication in the month of January, but it still feels like it's about 2 weeks out. By the last week of January, then I get a stop. So I feel like it's happening before that last week. Let me get a card that I'm pulling. Oh, see, this is grief. This is the 5 of Cups. This is basically how you're feeling right now. This is a perfect card that depicts this situation. You're focused on all of these cups. Cups are the suit of water, emotion, all this heartache, all this emotion spilling out right in front of you. But if you just turn around and look right behind you, the real lesson in this is shifting that perspective that there's still hope. So this is a positive. I just saw the comment, Ava, that this isn't him. This is you. This is you looking at the situation going, oh, like I'm hopeless. Like there's loss, all of this emptiness, my heart and all of this emotions just falling away. But if you just were to turn around, which means wait for the situation to change or wait for your perspective or circumstance to change, because there is still a couple cups. There are still a couple cups standing upright that are full right behind you. So this card shows that even though all hope feels lost, nope, there's still hope right behind you. You've just got to shift that perspective or wait for the circumstance to shift. So your situation is patience and waiting. Sorry. I'm sorry. Well, I will reach out to you on the chat hub, Ava. As soon as I'm done with this live, I have a little bit of time, and I know that you'd sent some messages. I've gotten a lot of messages the last couple of days, so I need to get on that chat hub and get back to my callers. So Ava, I'll reach out to you, okay? I don't want to leave you hanging. Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ava, for attending our live stream today. And yes, Marin just mentioned she'll be in contact very soon. So we hope that conversation goes very well. And we're glad that we got you two connected again this morning as well. So thank you, Ava, for attending.
Thank you for joining.
Next card pull is here for Ascending Universal Butterfly from YouTube. She is requesting a message from her message of relevance from her actuarian guide. Thank you in advance, Marin.
Okay, you're in this area. Okay, we're getting a message from your guide, and this is the Three of Swords, but this isn't as bad as it feels. Fortunately, this is in a reverse position, so these three swords are falling down. They're going to be eliminated. So this is heartache that is softening. So this is a really doozy of a card in an upright position. This is one of probably the top 3 heartache cards in the deck. And so fortunately for you, starting off the new year with this elimination of suffering, that's what this card is. So your suffering is diminishing. I'm glad to see that it's in this position, but sorry for whatever's been causing this situation, because these are not light emotions. These are real heavy hitters. So it's getting better. Ascending Universal Butterfly. Thank you for joining us. I recognize that unique name. So thank you for joining us again.
Yes, thank you. And we really appreciate you attending the live stream today and submitting your question. We really hope that answer from Psychic Marin resonated with you. Next question we have, yes, we do see you, Marisol, submitting that question. We're gonna have to put on slow mode if we keep getting questions at this rate. But Marisol is requesting a love card in regards to finding a romantic partner anytime soon. Thank you.
Oh, Marisol, this is so funny. Okay, and I'm not laughing. I shouldn't have said that. So I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the circumstance that you're excited and eager and ready, and yet, my goodness, this is you, the hangman, stuck. So it's important to note that this is like no fault of your own. In this situation, you are bound. You've got your hands tied behind you. This card's in this stuck position, and you are just trying to break free of this, trying to get unstuck. And so this is like spirit giving you this tug of war situation. And so you are being held, and sometimes this card is a lesson that you really need to work through. I'm getting for you that it's a matter of timing, and sometimes we don't always see these situations. It's really frustrating, but you are being literally suspended and held. And I keep getting an image like it's a timing matter. Your guides are showing me May. I think you're going to feel like you're stuck in this position until May, until you meet that romantic partner. So I see your excitement and your enthusiasm. It's a new year. You certainly didn't want to hear that I'm telling you you have to wait until May, but this is the essence of how you're feeling. And no matter how many dating sites you may think about joining or how many nights you want to go out, this is likely how you're going to be feeling. And if that's frustrating you, it's because it's a timing matter. So your guides are trying to align you with a partnership that's going to become available with this individual in May. So I love the enthusiasm and the tenacity, but don't be surprised if it's a little bit more delayed despite your energy, because your guides are saying, nope, we're going to hold her in this pattern for the perfect partner that's coming in May. So thank you for your patience and thank you for your enthusiasm. But gosh, spirit sometimes can be a little tricky.
Yes. Thank you, Marisol, for submitting that question today. And now moving on to our next question here from Honeybee. Thank you, Honeybee, for submitting questions during our tarot lesson portion of the live stream today. And so to reward you, you get your own guaranteed question poll. So again, thank you for keeping that tarot lesson interactive. And now her question for you, Psychic Marin. Mike and Vivian are still seeing each other. Now, I believe Honeybee is a third party looking into this relationship. Now, do you see this relationship ending anytime soon?
I do. So we've got the moon. This isn't coming from this, but timing wise, I feel like it's already even falling apart. There's some real matters that I don't see that were resolved around that New Year's and that excitement and kind of like an enthusiasm of, oh, it's going to be a new year. We're really going to be able to have this fresh start. And I quickly see this enthusiasm or hope and then a plummet. When I look at the very last week of January, they're showing me that division. You're going to need to wait till that first week of February when you see the results of what's like unraveled in the month of January. So yes, I still see this unfolding. Doesn't feel very good right now. And I'm also feeling like you're very disconnected or very shut out and you're not getting any communication, any information. So you're kind of in the dark. This card is more of the solution for now as you're disconnected or not really getting a lot of insight. This is the moon card, which in kind of a generic sense is listen to your dreams, pay attention to your intuition. The moon is that source of your guidance right now. And we've got this little crustacean. Sometimes in cards, it is a lobster or a crab. But what this really is representing is this is a bottom dweller. These are the creatures on the very bottom of the ocean, meaning that it is the most deepest energy that's coming up from the abyss, that's sometimes bringing junk up into your life, that's bringing debris, all of the things on the bottom of the ocean, those bottom dwellers now creeping up into the mundane world, into the real world. And so this is coming up into your life, whether you are ready for it or not, but in the sense of the moon and nighttime and dreams and intuition, this is going to be your sense of guidance right now. So as much as it may feel uncomfortable, or you might not really like the unpleasant emotions or the worry, this is a lot of what you are feeling about their situation. So if you pay attention to that intuition and what you're really feeling in your dreams, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's not going to feel lovey-dovey like it's the onset of a new relationship, because you're attached in this partnership with him. You're feeling that energy, and what you're feeling really is a lot of displeasure and a lot of issues and a lot of arguments and tension and things coming up. And because of this triangular situation that I see where you're all connected, you're feeling a lot of their matters. So that is why this is an uncomfortable time for you. It doesn't mean that there's hopelessness in the future of this partnership. It just means that you're very detached, and all these emotions you're feeling are more so theirs, but also a cue to guide you that you're not wrong in the intuition and what you're feeling. And it's mostly a lot of their issues that are going to be nearing detachment and nearing a beginning of a breakup.
All right. Thank you, Honeybee, for submitting your question today and for attending our live stream. We really do appreciate your attendance and your participation in our live stream, especially the lesson portion of our Tarot Thursday live stream as well. She is, yes, giving a follow-up. She has strong intuition and dreams sometimes about these matters too. She did have one even when she noticed the distance between the two of them, Vivian and Mike, and just wanting to say thank you for that reading real quick, and also just thank you for answering those questions during the lesson as well. So thank you, Honeybee, again, for attending our live stream and for those questions. Next card pull we have is here for Violets for Roses from YouTube. And actually, Marin, right before we get to that card pull question, I did want to shout out the best ways to reach you on CaliforniaPsychics.com, because we are going to be ending our live stream here in a few minutes before the end of the hour, so we can give Marin a little bit of time back to get ready for her readings. But Marin, for those who are wanting to connect with you for a one-on-one psychic reading and receive a guaranteed answer to their questions on CaliforniaPsychics.com, can you please let everybody know when is the next time you'll be online and available for these one-on-one readings?
Absolutely. So I usually split my day into a couple shifts to accommodate all the different time zones. And believe it or not, guys, there's a very different energy getting a reading in the afternoon. If you're on your lunch break or you've got like a 10-minute window or you're in this go, 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 I'm picking up kids. I've had people call me on the phone when they're in line for their child pickup at school. And so that's a very different on the go energy. Nighttime tends to be somebody that's at the end of their day, they're putting their feet up, they've had dinner, maybe they've woken up at midnight and they just can't sleep and they've got thoughts on their mind and they need somebody to talk to. So I love both. I love the variety. So I tend to work afternoons and evenings, and that accommodates the different time zones. And I'm usually on about 25 to 30 hours a week.
Wonderful. Thank you, Marin, for shouting that out again. And once again, for all of our users watching, if you click the link in the description of the live stream that you're watching right now, you will pull up Psychic Marin's profile on CaliforniaPsychics.com, where you can find all that information on her profile that she just shouted out as well. So if you are wanting that one-on-one reading appointment, psychic reading appointment away from the live stream, or just getting more details on maybe an answer you received today, go ahead and visit us on CaliforniaPsychics.com, and do not hesitate to contact our wonderful Psychic Marin here. Now, moving back on to questions as we kind of wrap up today's Tarot Thursday live stream today. Violets for Roses from YouTube. She is requesting a general card pull for 2026 from you, Psychic Marin. Please and thank you.
I love that. Yeah, kind of a variant of our lesson for today. So we're getting a card for you, your theme of 2026. This is the Holy Grail card. This is the Ace of Cups. So you've got this Ace of Cups in the center with all of these little streams of water flowing out of them. So those streams are known as streams of consciousness. So anytime we see water in the tarot, that's associated with emotions and feelings. And in this cup, it is just overpouring. So this is a great kickoff to the year, a great message, because what it really is showing is you've got divine just in the palm of your hand that is overflowing with so much abundance, so much emotion, so much driving you and propelling you. This is such a beautiful card. I'm so glad to be able to pull this for you to kick off your new year. If anybody needs a motivation, let's like cheer her on, because this is such a great card. I would love to have this card as representing my 2026. So thank you for asking. If anybody else wants a New Year's card, maybe we can pull in a couple more of those really quick before we wrap up, Carson.
Yes, we only have time for just one or two, because we want to give Marin just a few minutes before she has to hop on to the line. And yes, she also says she loves the color theme and she loves the water in the card. Thank you, Violets for Roses, for attending our live stream today. And thank you for that question. Now, next card pull is here for Maria. Maria is wanting to request a love card from you, Psychic Marin. Please and thank you.
Okay, we're gonna have to do another card after this, Carson. This is a tough card. This is the Five of Swords, and this card often means a breach of trust that's occurred or some dishonesty. This is somebody kind of looking over their shoulder because they don't really trust this other individual. So this is more of a keep your eyes peeled. If there's things that are suspicious, if there's things that you're questioning. Now, this doesn't mean somebody's cheating, but it would be an indicator to pay attention to less honest behavior, let's say, some unscrupulous behavior, some distrust. So if you're feeling that there could be some concerns, unfortunately, I'm sorry that this is the message that the start of your new year in love is giving you, to watch out for senses of betrayal, trust. Sorry.
Yes, sorry, Maria, but we are glad that you attended our live stream today, and we were super glad to get you a card pull and insight today. But really want to thank you for attending our live stream, and please let us know if any of that resonated with you. Sorry, just reading some of the comments. Right before we get into Evelyn's question here, she, I guess, assumes wants a New Year card, but Honeybee is asking a question just kind of about the cards. Can the Five of Swords also mean conflict worse than the Five of Wands?
The Five of Swords. So there's a difference. I want to see if I can quickly find them. I probably won't be able to in the amount of time I want to take to answer this. Swords are associated with the suit of air, which is logic and thought. And so the key differences between the two is because those swords, the Five of Swords is thought, we're intending, we're thinking. And so often that pain that's invoked is worse because we're thinking. The wands are often just passion, more of like I just fly off the handle, like it's more of an impulse energy. Where those swords, because it's associated with thought and that element of air, often it's more intentional. It just hurts more, it cuts deeper. So when you think of those swords cutting, there's a sharpness in somebody's speech. There's a sharpness and an intention in somebody kind of wanting that harm, rather than it just being there so full of passion and that it just spills out of them and people's feelings get hurt. So that's how I would encourage you to look at the differences between the two, because those elements bring such different energy. Wands are fire and passion and fiery, and I don't always think things through, but I just act and people get hurt, versus swords. I'm premeditating, I'm thinking, I'm trying to cause that suffering. I'm trying to afflict hurt and heartache. And so they can be a little more brutal, those swords. Usually those fives are complex, because if we think of numerology and we think of cycles of 10 or 1 through 9, the 5 is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're at the top of that mountain, which is you finally rose to the top. And now it starts to get easier once you can begin the descent. So those fives are right at the top of the strife and the precipice of the situation, and then it gets easier.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Honeybee, for that clarifying question. Now, Marin, we have time for just a quick couple of card pulls before we end today's Tarot Thursday lesson and give you time so that you can hop on the California Psychics line. Evelyn requested a love card in regards to the new year. So how will 2026 fare for her in terms of love?
Okay, Evelyn. All right. Well, this is the end of a worst nightmare. I don't like these really heavy cards, but at least that this is a positive. We're going in the right direction. The Nine of Swords, those swords are thinking. But what this means is it's just the end of this feeling of a nightmare. So if 2025 was this nightmare for you, it's starting to diminish that anxiety, that stress, that worry. It's diminishing. Unfortunately, it still is kind of lightly there. It's an indicator that it's still there, but it's improving.
Okay. Thank you, Evelyn, for attending today's Tarot Thursday live stream. We really appreciate you submitting your card pull question today as well. And we really hope that answer from Marin resonated with you too. Thank you again for attending the live stream. Next card pull, as we wrap up today's or as we wind down on the final few minutes of today's Tarot Thursday live stream, we have one here from Sherry regarding a general reading for her son. I believe from the early questions, her son might be still in school. So just for clarification.
Okay. The son's card was the energy surrounding your son this year is the Four of Swords, and this is rest. This is somebody that needs a lot of sleep, a lot of rest. These swords up above are pinning this person down, basically forcing them to rest. So what happens when you don't take this message? Usually life will force you to rest. And so if you can heed this warning, it's important for him to rest and rejuvenate. I'm not actually being shown or what the reasoning is and why he's needing to rest. It feels more like it's just a very busy life or very busy schedule. And so probably this go is saying, don't forget the stillness. Don't forget that presence or that concept of be here now, living in the moment, mindfulness. So as long as you're still instilling those values, it's going to be a great year. So lots of rest and lots of mindfulness. Again, that's a Four of Swords.
Thank you, Sherry, for submitting your question. Now, as we wrap up today's Tarot Thursday live stream, I saw a follow-up comment from Evelyn saying that she's getting divorced. I believe Yes. Did this
Yes.
relate to the card? Okay. So
Absolutely. That is a 9 of swords all the way, girl. Sorry, but yep, that's right on track. It'll definitely be a better year this year because it's diminishing, but you're knee deep in it. So thank you, Evelyn, for your validation.
all right. Yes, thank you, Evelyn, again for attending our live stream today. Now, very unfortunately, we do have to end our Tarot Thursday live stream today. We are reaching the top of the hour, and we have to let Marin hop on to start answering your questions on the California Psychics line. So once again, California Psychic Marin, can you please let everybody know when is the very next time you'll be online and available for these one-on-one readings on CaliforniaPsychics.com?
Yes, thank you everybody for joining. This was fun kickoff for the new year. Do not forget to get your new deck if you need one, or your journal, and participate in the New Year's spread. I am going to be available this evening for readings. I typically work 25 to 30 hours a week, afternoon and evenings. And if you struggle to get into my queue because sometimes it fills up, reach out to one of the advisors at California, or one of the customer service reps at California Psychics, to schedule an appointment with the advisors. So happy new year to all of you. Thank you for joining, and I will see you again next month for our next Tarot Thursday.
Yes, thank you everybody for joining us today. And our next live stream will be our regularly scheduled Monday live streams. So if we see you there, thank you for joining us in advance. And a huge thank you today for everybody joining. And we're super glad we got to usher in kind of this new year energy with y'all. We'll go ahead and put a picture of the New Year's spread that we did today also in the Facebook chat for those who joined us on Facebook and want to give it another look. So thank you everybody for joining us today. And until, like Marin said, next month's Tarot Thursday session, bye-bye everybody.